You know, despite really enjoying gaming, I don't actually have a lot of gaming related spreads in my journal. I feel like I need to remedy this. Does playing Wordle every day make you a gamer? Yes. I mean, it's a game, so why not? This video is for all different types of gamers, so whether you're into mobile games, tabletop games, video games, the whole range, we are having a look today at different layouts or different collection ideas for gamers, right? Gaming related collections that you can include in your journal. Let's go have a look at the list. For the collection ideas we have in this video, it's good to note that not all ideas will be suitable for all types of gaming. I very much tried to include ideas that came from a range of different types of games, so whether they be video games, tabletop games, etc. So given that diversity, some of our collection ideas are going to be better suited to particular gaming types over others. To write up today's list, we're jumping into my Longterm Collections journal. I do have a playlist of the other layouts that I've set up in this journal, so if you're curious about what I include in my Longterm Collections journal, do be sure to check that one out. The pages that I set up in this one cycle through in essentially a reverse rainbow order, so today we're up to a yellow page. But to start us off, I'm just going in and writing in the title for the page, putting in a simple border and highlighting every second line. This is a nice simple style that I can easily recreate for all of the layouts in this journal, just so that they all look like they actually go together. One of the issues that I had with my last Longterm Collections journal is that everything seemed very eclectic. It didn't really look like any of the pages belonged with each other, which kind of made me less inclined to use it. So to make sure that I'm keeping up with this one, all of the pages look pretty similar in design, just changing up the content and the color. Getting into our list writing though, as we go through the list today, we're going to have a couple of pictures from other creators who have done gaming related spreads in their bullet journals. A big thank you to everybody who contributed their pictures to this video. Despite really enjoying gaming, I don't have a lot of gaming layouts in my journal, so I very much appreciate those creators allowing me to highlight their work. To make the list a little bit more organized, I've sectioned it into some different categories so that we have related collection ideas together. The first group we have is what I'm calling Game Collection, and this is very much about the games that you either have, or you want to try or buy, or games that you can group for any reason. For instance, games to play that have really interesting stories, or games to play that are good for multiplayer, games that you can play that don't take a lot of effort or a lot of brain power, whatever categories make sense for the type of gaming you like. The second category we have is called Game Notes. And the ideas we have in this one are just general notes about your game, for instance your progress through the game, so you know where you've left off. Another idea is game rules or instructions, and an additional one related to that is house rules or modifiers for games. For instance, maybe there are specific things that you like to do with the free parking space in Monopoly. Another collection idea is game setup ideas, so that could be particular options that you need to select when setting up a game, or particular configurations of your game board. You might be playing a game that has specific cheat codes that you can use. For instance, when you're playing The Sims and you don't want to send your people to work, you just want them to start with a lot of money. And another idea is in-game recipes. They don't have to be food related, they could just be crafting related or that kind of a thing. Just so you have a handy reference of the materials needed and how to put things together. Our next category is related to gaming strategies. So these could just be general strategy notes, or it could be something like best equipment combinations, game choices and their consequences, any combo codes or sequences that you need to do for specific moves in your game. You could have a collection related to high point moves, so for instance, Scrabble words that are going to get you the most points, or if there's a particular combo in a video game that gets you more points. Another idea is opener or finishing tactics. For this one I was in particular thinking about chess, so what's your opening move and what's a strategy to win. And then if your game is more trivia based, you could have some interesting trivia answers. The next section we have is all about reviewing games. So these could just be general game reviews, or they might be memories related to games, especially games that are multiplayer. Depending on the type of game you're playing, you may also want to review your gaming strategy, so how well did it work to achieve the outcome you wanted. Your review could take more of the approach of what you love about XYZ, so whether that be a game, or a game character, or a game scenario. And following this, you could have a page just dedicated to your favorite games, scenarios, etc. If you're playing a story-based game, in particular one where you might need to make up the story or have a lot of control over the story, you might have a review of the best story points from that game. And you might want to have a collection dedicated to game lore. The next section we have is for collections that are gaming adjacent. So not specifically about the game and how you play it, but things that are kind of related to gaming. One of these could be a collection for your gaming buddies. So maybe if their online character is a different name to their actual name, or what their availability is for game playing. You may want to have a gaming music playlist, so the songs from games that you really like, or you could have a playlist page for music to game too, so songs that aren't necessarily from the game, but that you enjoy listening to while you game. We could have a collection related to your gaming session essentials, so what are the things that you like to have when you're starting a gaming session? And another gaming adjacent idea are gamified goals, so structuring your goal setting around your favorite game, or the style of gameplay, making the way you approach your goals reflect the leveling system for the game you like. Our next category is that related to characters, with ideas of having a page dedicated to character traits or stats, having a collection related to character stories that you like, or that you've made up yourself, and having a place to brainstorm potential character specs, so their names, their traits, their stats, etc. The next category I've titled Objectives, Missions, and Quests, because it very much depends on what type of game you're playing as to what they would be called. The first idea for this category is a daily or weekly game tasks list, so a checklist of things that you need to do on a daily or weekly basis in your game. You could of course just have a list of tasks that you need to complete in general, or you might want to make a checklist or plan for a particular objective. Another collection idea is to have the leveling requirements, so what do you need to do in order to reach the next level? Or a collection dedicated to things that you want to build, make, or do. Another idea for this category is a list of side quests that you want to revisit. So side quests or missions that aren't necessarily going to serve the main story, but ones that you still want to do. Our next category of gaming related bullet journal collections is that related to scores and stats, with our first one being a game achievements list. This one could be just set up as a list or more like a tracker, and similarly, you might want to have a collection dedicated to gaming milestones. This could be for a specific game or across multiple games. Another stat that you might want to keep track of is your running high score across either one game or multiple games, and that could of course be your score or the scores of multiple people. Another thing you can keep track of are completion stats, so how much of the game you actually complete before you move on to another one. And another thing that might be relevant for the type of games that you play could be a scoreboard, either for an individual game played, as a way to remember what happened, or over multiple games in more of a tournament style. If you play Xbox, you might be wanting to keep track of your gamer score, or if you're on PlayStation, maybe trophies. And another thing that you can keep track of is your achievement streak. So how many days in a row have you won an achievement, or won a trophy? For your style of game, it may be that you want to keep a win/loss tracker, or another collection idea is your level statistics. If you're the type of person who likes to buy a lot of games, but wants to make sure that they're getting value for their money, you might consider setting up a collection to track the time played versus the cost of the game, or you might want to have a tracker dedicated to your daily hours played. Another thing that you can track is a session log, and this could be particularly helpful for games that might go over multiple gaming sessions. Our next category is that related to drawing and art. So this could include things like game character sketches, a game map, any game layout designs. So for instance, if you're playing Animal Crossing and want to design your island, or if you're playing Sims and you want to design your house. And then the other collection idea we have here is game field notes. So effectively like field notes in real life, but related to the stuff in your game. The next category for our gaming collection ideas is that related to collections and collecting. So this could be a list of items that you need to collect, it could be a collection tracker, or it could be notes related to the collection, whether that be the collection as a whole or specific parts of the collection. While I note this page down in my index, I would love to hear if you guys have any collections in your journal related to gaming, and if so, what are they for? Obviously we have quite a few ideas here, but this is in no way an exhaustive list, so it would be awesome to see what you guys are including gaming-wise in your journals. If you like this type of ideas list video, I do have a playlist with a bunch more of them, so be sure to check that one out. We have it linked on the screen here, As always, team, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye!